Hi, my name is Ameyaw Debrah. I am the founder of Ameyaw Debrah Media. What we currently do is we publish on ameyawdebrah.com and also produce video content on the Ameyaw TV online channel. I'm very excited to be a keynote speaker at this year's Bloggers Summit. I think when I started blogging many years ago, we didn't have such platforms in order to aid us to rely on the experiences of each other as much as we do now. So I'm very excited that this platform has been put together to sort of support that agenda. I started blogging a number of years ago, altogether a little over 13 years ago. When I was in the university, I won an award at the Kwame University of Science and Technology as Best Publishing Student in 2005. And as part of that, the sponsors of the award gave me the opportunity to do my national service with them. So I took it up after school, and that was the introduction I had to writing, journalism, etc. beyond school. So after doing my national service, I stayed on for a little bit, and later on I started on my own looking for opportunities elsewhere. So I was drawn to the internet. In fact, way back in the university, that's when my interest got picked in the internet space. And so I was looking around for a lot of publications online, and I found quite a bit of them. Most of them were based in the US, and they were Pan-African in nature. So what I did was to write to a number of them and tell them that since they are based in the US, I'm on the grounds, and so I have access to some fresh and exclusive content that I can give them. And a lot of them were very open to it, and so I started writing and contributing to the platform for free. And at a point, I also had the opportunity to join a project called Voices of Africa Initiative based in the Netherlands. What that project does was to give Nokia phones to journalists across Africa to be able to use the phone to video and edit and put together a full report all on one device. So I started doing that for a couple of months, and the opportunity came for me to go and speak about that project at the Highway Africa Summit in South Africa, Rhodes University. So when I went to the university to speak, around that time, that was when blogging was really peaking. And so we had a lot of people come from all over, because Highway Africa is a conference for digital new media, digital space, and people were just sharing experiences and new technologies that had emerged in that space. So during that period, a lot of people came to speak from South America to across Africa, experiences they had and the impact they had with their blogs, etc. So when I came back to Ghana, I had already started a little blog spot. So I said, why don't I give it full attention? And so I started doing it to a point where Ghana Web also saw my work, and they hired me to become their content editor. And so it was around that period, and then one other friend of mine who had Ghana celebrities in the UK reached out to me to also give him content. So I started sort of giving him some of my stuff for them to use. And then at one point, he jokingly came up with the idea of me having my own self-hosted domain, and then we joked around the name ameyawdebrah.com. And so in 2008, in July, ameyawdebrah.com was birthed. And once it was active, once it became live, I didn't really stop. All I had to do was to constantly create content and also use social media as much as possible to propagate what it was I was doing. So one thing led to the other. We started getting more recognition, and we've grown from strength to strength. Along the years, I've had the opportunity to also lead a number of projects, one of them being joining Reggae Ghana to come up with pulse.com.gh. So we created that, and I found a team, I assembled them, we created, launched it, and it's been running till date. And then a few months after doing that, I left to also go and to join that company to create yem.com.gh, which also is still running. And when I left yem.com, that's when I decided to give birth to something new, and that was when Ameyaw TV also came out. And we've been doing it a little over 2 years, heading to 3. And that is also like our new baby, because with the website we feel we've done it all, and so we needed something new, a new challenge, also in a space where now we find a lot more of what we are doing being around. So ours is to add our voice in our unique way and still become a leader in spaces that are quite saturated. So in a nutshell, that's the journey. 5 lessons that people can draw on from my journey and my experience as a blogger. The first one would be finding what your passion is. And when I started blogging about celebrities, etc., it didn't happen from nowhere. It wasn't because I saw somebody doing it or getting some acclamation for it, and so I wanted to do it. It was pretty new, but it was built on the passion I had growing up for entertainment, consuming entertainment content. So you must have a passion, because a lot of the bloggers out there still have it wrong. They're just churning out news, and it shows you even from the quality, the way they put it out. But if you have interest in specific things, even if it's something that is everywhere, the way you look at it, the way you present it shows, because you have that passion for it. So that's what I'll tell people. Do things you're passionate about. Blogging is supposed to be a reflection of your experiences, your views, more like a diary. So put yourself in there and be ready to share with people. My tip number 2 would be that you should identify what makes you unique, what sets you apart from everybody else. When I started, there was a lot of uniqueness in what I was doing. Having a website in my name was top for me. It was something that was unique, and so people could relate with me. And I think as a blogger, you should have that personality where people are able to connect and know what your opinion is on what you're talking about. So having that voice, having that unique voice, I think it's also very important. Tip number 3, look for opportunities and grab them. Depending on what kind of blogging you find yourself doing, what your interest is, there are a number of opportunities inherent in that space. And so it's important for you to put yourself out there so that people can find you. When I started, I was everywhere. I was at every event. I was trying to speak with everybody who mattered. And so when something was happening, if a Trace Songs was coming to Ghana, they knew Ameyaw would be interested. So let's look for him to give him an exclusive interview, so he puts it out. So it's important for you to look for these opportunities, and it's also important for you to create them for yourself. We live in a space where, because of internet, social media, we're able to reach people that we don't even intend to. So that would be my 3rd tip. My 4th one would be that if you want to do blogging as a full-time job and something that would earn you money, then it's important for you to build a reputable brand, a brand where most people will not be shy of association with you. And once you have that mentality, I believe you start working with that sort of notion and look for opportunities that would grow you as a brand. Because there are opportunities, for instance, if you're writing about environment and you've created a voice and your opinion matters in that space. If there are global conferences, events around environment, climate change, etc., they would invite you, and you would go. I've had the opportunity to do a number of these things, and it's part of my highlights. And it's also because I have positioned myself in a way that it will attract the people who want some of us to represent what they stand for. So for those, blogging has become business for majority of people, and so for those that want to go in that field, it's important for them to look at it with a business mind, and perhaps from day one you look at it as a possible business that will bring you your revenues, your income, and so you work towards it. So that would be my fourth tip. Tip number 5 is build your social media presence, because I've realized that it is a big deal for a lot of people. In the last few years, I have sometimes applied for a number of international functions, and every time they see I apply, they can hardly ever turn me down, because most of the time the requirements include your social media numbers and all of that, and I've been able to impress a lot of people with that, but it didn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of consciousness to build a very active and engaging platform. So what you realize with me is that my Twitter is very engaging and active. My Instagram is very engaging and active for the purpose for which I use it, and so is my Facebook. So you have to use these, even if not, because people can blog on Facebook, on Instagram alone. So depending on the kind of blogging you want to do, you must look at these tools to enhance it, even if you're not using them core to engage people as a blog. You should use it to direct traffic to your website, and up to date, some 60% of referrals come through my social media, i.e. Facebook and Twitter. So it's important for you to build that presence, because social media is becoming so strong, and now sometimes something happens, you Google, and the first options that come are even from results from Twitter, etc. So it's important for you to grow and use your social media, and it's not all about numbers, it's more about how effective you use it, how engaging you use it. So you can have just 10,000 followers and you'll be able to use it to serve your purpose as far as possible. So understand how each of these platforms work, and know how to use it to your maximum benefit. So these are my 5 tips. All right, so in wrapping up, I would like to thank Advance Media for your amazing contributions you've been doing. I know you've been compiling some controversial lists in the past, and we will talk about that another time, but we've been observing your contribution in the space, and last year unfortunately I couldn't join, but I saw the buzz that came with it, and the response to some of the things that were discussed. I monitored it far away on social media. So I'm happy that you had me as your speaker, and I'm wishing everybody an amazing summit this year. Thank you.